and 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios.
I smoke one when I got it. I'll drink a nice cold beer. A sucker for a good time. It's the reason I'm right here. I got drinking, got smoking, got cheating left to do. I'm hanging out with a bad crowd now on Mass deep in these blues. I'm gonna live forever.
That is a new track from Creed Fisher. Creed Fisher, straight out of Friday Night Lights land, West Texas. Outlaw country singer-songwriter. He is coming to town, headlining the Piazza in Aurora on October 11th. The Piazza in Aurora on October 11th. His tour is entitled Between Heaven and Hell, the Between Heaven and Hell tour. So we're going to hear all about that from Creed Fisher. Creed, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, buddy. Thanks for having me.
So this was inspired in part because of a motorcycle accident you suffered last year?
No, I did suffer a motorcycle wreck last year. That was just made, that was I don't know, life-defining moment for me, I guess.
Okay.
But it didn't really have anything to do with the album.
Well, how?
It just comes from.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I wrote the title track a couple years back. It just goes back to living on the road and doing music for a living, and
the
good, the bad, and the ugly to go along with it.
So the Between Heaven and Hell was your life at the time.
Yes, exactly. This is what I was living through.
Okay. Give me the oscillating between heaven and hell. What was that? What did that entail?
Well, life in itself is a battle for your soul, but just living on the road, there's a lot of temptations, a lot of pitfalls and also a lot of good stuff, but just a song about, the women and the drugs and the living on the road and the fast lifestyle, living in the fast lane, that sort of thing. And the difference when you come home and then when you're on the road,
And so as we stand here today, are you a little bit closer to heaven or a little bit closer to hell?
Well, I would hope heaven.
Yeah.
So we're working on it.
Yeah. All right. Well, tell us about the motorcycle accident then last year and how serious it was and what that recovery was like and how that was, as you said, a life-defining moment.
Oh, it was one of the hardest things I ever been through. Broke my pelvis in half.
Oof.
And almost bled to death before they got me to the hospital. And it was a long recovery. Even though I was only off of the road for 47 days, I went back and sat down in the throne. But as far as my recovery goes, it was probably, I'm just a little bit over a year out, so I'm still recovering. I'm still in the process of recovering, but very lucky to be alive, to have both legs and be back on the road and doing what I love to do.
Yeah, I mean, well, an injury like that, obviously, that's going to take, it's going to take a long time to recover, especially when, you get to, we're about the same age. You get to our age. So what was the nature of the accident? What happened?
Oh, it's a long story, but to make a long story short, the guy that was leading us in front of me took a U-turn right in front of me.
And there was
a long story. I mean, he ran off on foot. The story goes on for a while, but
so it was a collision on the road, and then the injuries you suffered as you described, and so as a near death experience that changes people's perspectives. That's not unusual. So how did it change yours?
Well, it changes everything.
Yeah.
You don't sweat the small stuff after that. You realize how blessed you are just to be alive. And to be, doing what you love to do in your life. So,
and how did you get started in this country music career in the first place? Just sort of your origin story, if you will.
I just picked up a guitar at 35 and started writing songs. And then I talked to my dad and loaned me the money to go record an album. I went to Nashville, recorded my first album back in 2012. And then I started touring Texas and did that for years. Went through a lot of different things, but finally, 2017, got out of Odessa, Midland, moved to Austin, put my band together, and we've been started. I had to go back and work. You know, I guess 2017 was the last time I had a day job, but ever since then, I've been just trying to tour, and obviously COVID happened, and it's all these, 2021, we kind of hit the road running, and we've been busy ever since.
I mean, so 35 is, a little bit older than most to start a music career. What were you doing before then?
I was a journeyman electrician and raising my kids.
And it was at a moment like at 35, you just said, I've got these songs in my head and I want to do this, and it's now or never. Was that kind of it?
No, I got divorced after 12 years and was miserable.
Oh, okay.
So it was therapy.
You poured it into the music. Interesting.
Yeah.
And then it's one of those, overnight success that takes a long time. I mean, you had to grind it out, going from venue to venue, I assume, for some time before you started to build a following.
Yeah, I grinded it out for years. I think probably around 2019, we started drawing crowds, and you could tell something had changed, something was different,
How do you know when something has changed? Is it like when you have members of the audience singing your songs back to you? Is that it?
No, you have people there.
just you're playing for somebody other than yourself and your bandmates. That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
And so like, is this? I don't know how old your children are, but is this in part a family affair now too? Even though the divorce happened.
Yeah, it's become that way over the years. My parents owned their own business back when I first got started in music, and the success rate of what I do, I think, is 1%. But I'm one of the very few lucky ones that made it through all that stuff. But it was a hell of a struggle, man. I'm not gonna lie, man. Been quit several times, but I just love doing what I do.
And so tell me,
writing songs.
Yeah, and so tell me about the tour Between Heaven and Hell. How many dates and locations, and how long is this going to where is this going to take you over how many days or months or you?
Well, we kind of do it the same way every year. We start playing about the second or third week of January, and we go to the week before Christmas. So what the tour will be called next year, I'm not sure. I was talking to my manager about that yesterday. He never gave me an answer. He's been busy. He had to go out on the road with us, play tour manager last weekend. But yeah, I mean, the next year's tour will probably be called something else, and that's just how it works every year. It gets named something else. Usually the album that we're putting out that year,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And, is there anybody in particular that you grew up listening to that sort of inspired you, or that you try to, emulate in some form or fashion?
I think anybody that does what I do has influences, really not just music, but even if you're in sports or whatever. I mean, for me, it was Hank Jr. and Waylon. Those were the two main ones, Merle Haggard. And then I grew up on rock and roll as well, Ted Nugent, Black Sabbath. So all those kind of had their own impact on me.
Well, that fits the outlaw country singer songwriter, genre, if you will. Creed Fisher is a Texas-based outlaw country singer songwriter, as I just mentioned. He's coming to Aurora. It's October 11th at the Piazza. And is there a best place to go for tickets or more information on the tour, Creed?
My website's creedfisherofficial.com.
Creed Fisher creedfisherofficial.com,
Get it
creedfisherofficial.com.
all right there.
All right, October 11th at the Piazza in Aurora. Creed Fisher, thanks so much for joining us, and good luck with the tour.
Thanks for having me, man. I look forward to coming and seeing you guys.
All right, and Creed Fisher, join us on the Turnkey.pro answer line.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Wow. At the time of this being written, both gold and silver are up some 40%. That's 40% in just 1 year. In fact, this past year, gold has broken all-time historic records by